नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये. Today we are going to a point of time in Mahabharata which was during their forest exile. And those were times which are very difficult for all of them, and perhaps most of all for Yudhishthira. This is in Vanaparva of Mahabharata. And there are several scenes in this time period where Draupadi, for example, would complain and complain and complain to him. And if she stopped, then Bhima would scream and scream and scream. Yudhishthira would somehow try to defend his position, but they were questioning the very heart of the faith of what he thought he stood for. What kind of man are you? That kind of questions. Very difficult times. And then, sometime during that stage, Vyasa had arrived and had initiated Yudhishthira into a vidya called Pratismriti Vidya, which he asked him to initiate Arjuna, which Arjuna would use during his journey to get celestial weapons. So Arjuna too leaves the forest and goes away to get celestial weapons. Yudhishthira is his strength is Arjuna. Arjuna is also gone. And domestic equilibrium is quite disturbed. So he is in deep depression. He is quite depressed. So around that time, there was this rishi who came there. It happens like that with good people. When good people are in troubled times, some Mahatma or the other will come. So there was this Mahatma, a rishi, called Brihadashva, who landed up in the forest. And as soon as Yudhishthira saw him, he completely just poured out all his woe to this Maharishi. He said, "Oh Maharishi, I have lost everything, my kingdom, my wealth, everything has gone because of a fraudulent gambling which I was victimized. Completely I have lost everything, there's nothing that I have now. And I am a novice in gambling. And I got completely overcome by people who are seasoned in all methods of gambling, and if it was to stop with that, it could stop with that, but the kind of horrible dealings and horrible words, the torture, the humiliation of Draupadi and the words that we had to put up with. The cruel words spoken by our opponents was bad enough, but even more hurting is the scorching words that are spoken to me by my own kin. They are like thorns that are in my heart. I can't sleep at night after night. I am seized by this sorrow of the state that I have somehow brought all of us in. Oh Maharshi, fact is, I am more or less lifeless. अस्ति विराजा मया कश्चित् अल्पभाग्यतरो भुवि भवता दृष्टपूर्वो वा श्रुतपूर्वोऽपि वा क्वचित् न मत्तो दुःखिततरः पुमानस्तीति मे मति. It asks King Brihadashva, अस्ति राजा मया कश्चित् अल्पभाग्यतरो भुवि. Has there been or is there any king in this world, in this earth, who is more unfortunate than I? Bhavata drishtapurvo va shrutapurvopi va kvachit. Have you heard of or have you seen before or now anyone, any man who is in more sorrow than I? Matto dukkhita asti. I don't think there is a man in the world who has been struck with more sorrow than I. Says King Yudhishthira asking Maharshi Brihadashva, what did I do? And on top of it, adding insult to injury, I have to suffer more like that. So Brihadashva says, O king, let me tell you an ancient account of a king who was in worse condition than you. Nishadeshu mahipalo virasena iti shruta tasya putro bhavan namna nalo dharmartako vidah. Nishadeshu mahipalo virasena iti shruta. In the kingdom of Nishadha, there was a king who was well known. His name was Virasena. Tasya putro bhavan namna nalo dharmarthako vidah. He had a son whose name was Nala. He was a king, Nala. And not just a king, he was a dharmarthako vidah. You are a dharmishta, O King Yudhishthira. He was a dharmishta. Dharma. You are a great dharmishta. Was he just a dharmishta? No, he was arthako vidah. He was a man of substance. He was a wealthy king. He was a prosperous king. And he too, O king, was ruined by gambling. He too was ruined by gambling. A fraud in gambling. And he too suffered forest exile. Now we are talking. Now you're talking, because the example that's being given is now hitting one home. See, when you need to give consolation to somebody, then you have to give an example of someone who's been there and done that, like that or worse, in that area of difficulty that he or she is finding himself or herself in. Right? You can't give an example that he or she does not relate to. Everything is relating now. He says, the Dharmishta. He's a very great king, he's a prosperous king, he's a well-known king. He too was done in by fraudulent gambling, and he suffered a great deal in forest exile. But unlike you, O king, na tasya dasa, na ratho, na bhrata, na cha bandhava. But he didn't have his brothers with him, he didn't have his attendants with him, he didn't have his chariot with him, he didn't have his well-wishers with him, he didn't even have a single thing with him. Compared to him, you are in a great state. You have your brothers here. What kind of brothers? God-like brothers. God-like brothers. You have Bhimasena here with you. You have your Guru, Rishi Dhaumya here with you in the forest. You have Draupadi with you. You have Akshaya Patram with you. You have the Vedavits, they are all here with you. You should not have any sorrow at all. Now, Yudhishthira was very keen to know, what is this? Who is this? What is the story of Nala? What happened to him? What did he suffer? He said, please tell me in detail what. So Bharadashva said, Asid Raja Nalo Nama Virasena Suto Bali Upapanno Gunairishtai Rupavan Ashvako Vida Asid Raja Nalo Nama Virasena Suto Bali. Once upon a time there was a king called Nala who was the son of King Virasena, and Nala, the king, was a man of immense strength. He was a Mahabala, Bali. He was the abidance of all good qualities. All good qualities resided in King Nala. He was the Rupavan. He was a man of great charm and handsomeness. He was a handsome man, Rupavan. Ashvako Vidaha. And he was a master of horse upbringing, horsemanship. He was a magic man with horses. He could make a horse dance to his tune. There was nothing about a horse that he was not an expert of. You could bring the weakest horse to him and he could do something, and he could speak something into its ear and get on, and they could gallop like the wind. He was magic with horses. Now, horses. We spend a few moments on this subject of horses. There's a reason for it. Now, in India, Ashwashastra, Gajashastra, these are all very, very ancient, traditional sciences. One of the rishis called Shalihotra, he's written, among other things, he is considered the father of veterinary sciences worldwide. Shalihotra has written Shalihotra Samhita on horses and elephants, which is 12,000 verses, I think. 12,000 verses. Yes. Shushruta was supposed to be his disciple. Shushruta's name you might have heard. It's one of the surgery, his name comes first. Even now, worldwide. Now, Shalihotra, his name is so entrenched that even now, in many parts of the subcontinent, veterinary doctors traditionally who treat horses are called Salotri or Salutar, like that, Shalihotra. Somewhere in North India, there some people say, somewhere in UP or maybe somewhere towards Lahore, he was in some of these places. Now, Shalihotra's guru's, I think, name was Hayaghosha. Hayaghosha means neigh of the horse. They had such detailed understanding of horses. Horse is a very terrific animal. The horse is an amazing animal. Okay? And it's always been till almost maybe just about the last 100 odd years in India, we have because of systematic British and then later Indian attempts, Indian independent India government, they decimated this thing in India. The British for their own reasons, etc. Now, I'm just going to read you a few things from this book. This is by Nakula, and it says, okay, horses are useful in warfare. Physically and psychologically, they are uniquely suited for war. They are fearless, sure of their steps, acutely sensitive of the wishes and the predicaments of the rider, quick in perception of the surroundings. They display extraordinary team spirit when acting in concert and fearlessness in advance when acting alone.